Hi, I'm Sophie, and welcome to my world. And yes, again, it is time for Q&A with Sophie. And believe it or not, this is double-digit time. We are heading into Q&A number 10. I can't believe you guys have this many interesting questions and that you want to ask them of me. But anyway, I'm very flattered, so thank you. And I'm going to answer them right now. Okay, Olivia Wallet and XX raw underscore twinkle double X asks, what is your favorite emoji? Okay, I have to tell you a story about emojis. So I had just learned that there were emojis on my telephone. I didn't know that they were there. Yes, I know that they existed, but I didn't know that they were there. I discovered that they were there, and I texted my sister and I said, wow, look at this new cool thing I found. And then I put like an alien head, and I put a heart, and I put this. And my sister texts back to me. You ready for this? She goes, stop. And she puts like a big hand thing. She says, stop. You are not allowed to get sucked into the emoji world. So then I was kind of like chastised, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I can't use emojis. But here's the thing. So I never have used them. I don't use them. I used them that one time, and I got yelled at via my phone. And so I didn't ever do it again. But this is the one thing that I do want to tell you. My sister, who told me I'm not allowed to use emojis, uses emojis all the time. I know, all the time. So rude. But anyway, so I don't have a favorite emoji. I'm sorry. But if I did, I think it would be something cute and fuzzy with a big smile and maybe hearts. Okay, Girasol asks, how many glue guns do you own? Haha, this is a good question. I have a lot of glue guns. I have 10 big glue guns, which are so hot that they will burn your fingers off. And I mean that literally, like we literally can't let children touch them because they're, you know, industrial hot glue guns. And then I have about 12 little ones. And the reason I say about is because sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. There's a few that are like a little wonky. So altogether, I have 22 glue guns. And yes, I use them all the time. I use glue guns actually probably more than I use duct tape, which is saying a lot. Nolan Bosses Up Games. Nolan Bosses Up Games. Nolan Bosses Up Games asks, do you remember your first duct tape craft? And yes, I do. The first duct tape craft I ever learned was taught to me by an 8-year-old boy at a party, and he taught me how to make a duct tape rose with house points. And that was the very first thing I ever learned how to make, and it was taught to me by one of my clients, one of my crafters who was at the party. So that was the very first thing I ever made out of duct tape. Miss Peaches asks, will you make a second book? Well, Miss Peaches, here's the thing. I would definitely love to make a second book. We have to talk to the publisher and see if they're interested in having us make a second book. Here's the thing. Craft books are a lot of work because you have to make the crafts, you have to shoot the crafts, you have to take the pictures of the craft, you have to describe the crafts. And describing the crafts is probably the hardest thing to do. Getting those descriptions is probably the hardest thing to do. So they take a lot of energy, and they also take a lot of editing. So it depends on our publisher whether or not they have an editor that they can give us at this time to do a second book. But we have discussed a second book. That being said, I have about 8 children's books that I'm working on, and those I'm definitely going to be working on throughout the next couple years. So there will be more books for me for sure. I'm just not sure there will be a second duct tape book. We'll keep our fingers crossed. But of course, you can always check out the website, sophie-world.com, because every week we're adding new crafts. And you know, every single one has a step-by-step tutorial. So it's almost like having a book for yourself right there online. Castle Plus asks, what's the difference between Duck Brand and Tape Brothers? Which is better? And what is the best use for Scotch brand? And the best way to use thicker brands? Okay, that's a lot of questions, but they're all about duct tape. So the difference between Tape Brothers and Duck Brand, I would basically say the color. And Tape Brothers does not have the number of patterns and designs. Tape Brothers really just has really great tape. that is in the rainbow hue of colors, and they come in really large rolls. So that's what makes them so great for me, is because they're 60 yards to a roll. The tape is really good. It's a real high quality, and I can get a lot from a roll, so I can use it a lot. The Duct brand has a lot of amazing designs. That's what makes Duct brand, I think, just stand out better than anybody else, is that they have all these great designs and different patterns, and they're always coming up with new ones. It seems like every 3 months there's a 10 or 12 new designs that come out. So they're always they're very innovative, and it's pretty exciting. Which is better? You know, they're about the same. I mean, their quality is as good as, like Tape Brothers and Duct brand, I would say that their quality is equal. Both are about the same. Scotch brand. Okay, the best way that I think of using Scotch brand, because it's a much thinner tape, is as an embellishment tape. So what I mean by that is I would build my project and then come back with the Scotch brand over top. Here's the thing about Scotch brand. They do have some very cute styles, and they have some very cute patterns. It's just that the tape itself, I'm not extremely fond of working with, not with scissors, and certainly not ripping. It's okay when you're using an X-Acto knife. Scotch brand is okay. Scotch brand really responds well to an X-Acto knife. And what's the best way to use the thicker brands? I would use those for building the bases. That's what I would definitely use the thicker duct tape for. Emma B says, have you ever thought of quitting crafting or YouTube? And if so, why? This is the last question for Q&A number 10, and I think it's a pretty big one. Have you ever thought of quitting crafting? No. I love making things. I love making things. I love seeing what other people are creating, and then I love taking their ideas and making them my own, and I love crafting. That I don't think I will ever stop unless something terrible happens and I no longer have arms that I can craft. And even then I probably will figure out a way to craft with my mouth or something. But YouTube. Have you ever thought of quitting YouTube? And if so, why? Here's the thing. This is really fun, and I love being able to bring all these new ideas, and I have an amazing audience that I'm so incredibly blessed to have, and I'm really thankful for. But sometimes it gets a little tricky, and sometimes it gets a little hard, and I'll be completely honest, because I have to work a full-time job that is more than a full-time job, and then to try to do all of this on top of it, there's a lot of work that goes into it. And so sometimes when I'm really super busy with my work and I have to do a video shoot too, it can get a little exhausting, and you know, you kind of have to push through it, and because you know that it's important. I know that it's important. At least I feel like it's important and that I need to do it. And I'll keep doing it until you guys don't want me to do it anymore. How's that? So, if you have a question that you want to know about, just write it down below. And if I haven't answered that question already, I will put it in my next Q&A. For fun stuff, come and check us out at sophie-world.com.